afternoon. I'm Shawnee Yao and this is One News Now. Two party list groups protested in front of the Comelec office in Manila after they were denied accreditation for the 2022 elections. Members of the Nurses United party list threw tomatoes at a Comelec logo right in front of the poll body's office. The group insists that their party list is composed of legitimate nurses. Others, like the Guardian's party list, meanwhile, questioned why administration-backed groups like the Malasakit Movement and the Mothers for Change party list still have pending applications. The Comelec denied the application of some 107 party list groups to participate in the upcoming polls.
Pinatay po nila yung pag-asa ng mga nurses at mga manggagawang pangkalusugan. Pag-asa na magkaroon ng tunay na representante ng mga manggagawang pangkalusugan sa loob ng Kongreso, sapagkat napakarami pong issue na dapat pong matugunan sa usapin po ng ating mga manggagawang pangkalusugan. Kasama po ang mga nurses, kasama din po dito ang pag-aayos ng ating sistemang pangkalusugan.
Senatorial aspirant Guillermo Eleazar says the country will not need the death penalty for as long as the criminal justice system improves. On One News's agenda, the former police chief said that capital punishment will be useless if the culture of abuse and corruption in the justice system continues. He added that the country also lacks resources and technology to help criminal investigations. Eleazar will be running under the Lacson-Soto senatorial slate. The tandem also recently made a U-turn on their stance regarding the death penalty.
It's better to acquit 10 guilty persons rather than to punish an innocent one. So para sa akin, mahalagang buhay. So okay. I prefer that we should strengthen the criminal justice system.
Let's go over some other election-related stories we're watching today. Vice President Leni Robredo joins Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong in honoring frontliners at the City Hall's flag ceremony earlier today. Magalong did not specify which candidate he will be endorsing for next year's elections, but the Baguio City Mayor said that his principles are in line with the Vice President's. Presidential candidate Isko Moreno says that he will vote for President Rodrigo Duterte, who is running for senator next year. At his visit to Cebu, Moreno says he is willing to put Duterte in his slate as a guest candidate. The Manila City Mayor earlier said that he would welcome an endorsement from the president after administration bet Senator Bongo announced his intent to withdraw from the presidential race. We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News. Hi, Jen. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Experts from around the world are racing to find out more about the Omicron COVID variant. Bloomberg's Jason Gale tells us what they know so far in this video. Let's watch this.
So this is a really interesting and a little bit bizarre virus that has emerged kind of out of nowhere. So with all the previous variants, we've been able to kind of track their lineage and have an understanding of how it sort of evolved in different populations over time. But with this particular one, it has so many mutations. There is no link with really any previous variant in terms of time and place. But we do know that it has more than 30 genetic changes on the spike protein, and that's the really important part of the virus, particularly what's known as the receptor binding domain. That's the area of the spike protein that interacts directly with our cells to cause an infection, and it's also the target of the antibodies that we mount in response to vaccination and in response to a natural infection. Although the signs in South Africa at the moment are that people are being reinfected. We don't really know where Omicron's come from. We know that the initial cases were reported in Southern Africa and Botswana, as well as in South Africa. These countries are sort of implicated in the emergence, but really we don't know for sure where or how it's emerged. One possibility is that the virus emerged in an immunocompromised patient who had the coronavirus for many, many months, and that chronic infection allowed the virus to slowly adapt inside the patient and become better suited to being inside the patient. Well, at the moment, we just don't know enough about this variant. Certainly, the indications are that it's spreading very fast in South Africa, but we need to know, firstly, is it more transmissible than Delta? There are signs that it probably is, because it's out-competing Delta in provinces like Gauteng and South Africa. We want to know if it's capable of evading our immune responses from the antibodies that we generate from vaccination or prior infection, and there is some evidence that that's probably happening. So I spoke earlier in the week with Deborah Cromer, a scientist at the University of New South Wales, who has a different take on whether we will need to tweak current vaccines.
I don't think we should all get all excited about some sort of Omicron specific vaccine, because so far that's not what we've seen as being the best thing to fight against it. New South Wales was having 2,000 cases a day, and now they're having 100 or 200 cases a day, and that is just as a result of vaccinating people. So the vaccines we've got do work, at least against Delta, and hopefully they'll continue to do so against.
And back here in the Philippines, the health department says the Omicron COVID variant has not yet been detected in the country. To tell us more, we have Jen Calimon joining us live from Malabon. Jen, hi. What measures are currently being undertaken, to detect or maybe track or monitor the entrance or the presence of the Omicron variant here in the country?
Hi, Sean. As what DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Bergeres said, we cannot 100% control or prevent the entry of Omicron variant. So what we are doing is we are buying time to delay the possible entry of this Omicron variant. Part of what they are doing is monitoring the entry of for the entry of this Omicron is intensifying our biosurveillance. Bergeres also urges LGUs to continue doing its active case finding and testing for those who are exposed and those who have symptoms, so they can immediately track in case Omicron variant will be detected in the country. Sean?
Hi, Jen. Do we have any updates on the genome sequencing of samples here in the country, as well as monitoring of close contacts of those 3 travelers coming from South Africa?
Yes, Sean, the DOH is still closely monitoring the three individuals from South Africa, Burkina Faso, and Egypt who tested positive for COVID-19. We are still awaiting for the results of the samples submitted to the Philippine Genome Center. So far, Sean, there are 253 individuals being monitored by the health department, and the back tracing and contact tracing efforts are still ongoing. On the 80 contacted or verified patients, 71 are currently in facility-based quarantine, 4 are in home isolation, and 5 are already discharged. Sean?
Right, so at the moment it is December 6th. Jen, what is the most dominant variant from the latest run of genome sequencing that they have administered? Is it still the Delta variant?
Yes, Sean, based on the latest run of genome sequencing on the 19,305 samples with lineage, the most dominant variant still is the Delta variant at 40.65%. This is followed by the Beta variant at 18.75%, Alpha at 16.36%, and Gamma variant at only 0.02%. Sean?
Right, we also have NEDA Chief Carl Chua suggesting a change in metrics, at least with COVID monitoring. What does the DOH have to say about this? Of course, Secretary Chua says to focus on severe cases and hospitalization rates as well as deaths.
Well, USEC Maria Rosario Vergeres said that they have been talking and thinking about this long before this pronouncement by NEDA Chief Chua, but there are a lot of factors that have to be considered before doing this. Major consideration, Sean, is the vaccination status. The DOH wants to see first who else can get infected by the virus once more people are vaccinated. So once we reach our target coverage for vaccination, then maybe that is the time when we can transition into looking only to the severe outcomes, only according to Vergeres, Sean.
Right, and having said all of this, Jen, what is now the COVID-19 risk classification of the Philippines and majority of the regions? Is it true that we are now considered low risk for COVID?
Well, Sean, nationally and majority of the regions are at minimal risk case classification with negative 2-week growth rate at negative 57% and low risk average daily attack rate at 67 cases per 100,000 individuals only. Our national positivity rate is only at 1.80%. NCR has the lowest rate at 1.10%, followed by regions 4 and 7 at 1.20%. Only regions 2, 4B, and 9 have more than 5% positivity rate, but it is continuously declining. In terms of bed utilization, Sean, our national bed capacity remains at low risk at 21%, and the national ICU capacity is also at low risk at 26%. Sean?
Thank you so much for giving us all those updates. Jen Calimon reporting to us live from Malabon. Stay safe, Jen. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Education Department says that the start of face-to-face classes in Metro Manila has been smooth sailing so far. Some 28 schools in the capital region joined the pilot run of in-person classes today. And members of the Senate and the House of Representatives convened for a bicameral conference today to reconcile provisions on the 2022 national budget. Lawmakers are seeking to resolve disagreeing provisions in 4 days before the expected ratification next week. And some oil companies announced a big-time rollback in the prices of petroleum products effective tomorrow. Gas prices will see a 2 peso and 40 centavos per liter rollback, while a 2 peso and 65 centavo price rollback is set for diesel. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.